So the other day, everyone's out of town. I was just kind of chilling, and I decided to boot up the Nintendo 64 emulator on the Switch.
I still need to play it.
And yeah, because I added you to the family group, so you could play it. And I started to play Banjo-Kazooie again. And holy crap, guys, that game holds up so well. And I just want to know, like, what games you guys have played, from growing up that still hold up. Like, what ones could you go back and have someone play today who didn't play them and be like, you know what? This is still a good game, even by today's standards.
Minus graphics.
Well, minus graphics, but I think the graphics of Banjo-Kazooie, like the art, like it has its own charm, and so I think that kind of holds up even. Like, it's not great, like the render distance isn't good.
Yeah.
But well, yeah, but like the art style holds up. Like, the art style it has its own charm to it. Yeah, and it's just a good aesthetic that even today's would hold up. So
Final Fantasy games.
All of them?
Most of the old ones.
I would agree with that.
7, 8, and 9, freaking incredible.
Yeah,
I would recommend anyone play those who likes that kind of stuff. And they have remaster versions now, which don't change a whole lot.
But I think they added some quality of life improvements.
Yeah,
at least from what I've played.
That's a hot debate. The speed up thing.
I was gonna ask. That's the one that has like the fast
very
forward,
hot
right?
debate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't encourage using
your first time playing it
like,
ever. You shouldn't play with that ever.
I think my view on it is if you're just trying to grind out and you're just in an area and you're just trying to get levels, like, it's only saving you time. Like, I feel like
that's not the point though.
I know, but like, I don't know. It makes it more accessible to people because it's like a lot of people don't have the time to put 40 hours into grinding.
Right.
Wait, not everyone's a Twitch streamer.
Some do.
You
don't have to put 40 hours either.
That's the thing. It's an option.
Whether you want to or want.
You don't have to use it.
Not everyone's a Twitch streamer that can do that.
Use it.
Weird.
There's no, even if there is an option not to use it, you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So I like having no option. So you can't.
Yeah. So, but what other games then do you guys think hold up over?
Zach says Ocarina of Time. You might fight me on this one. I think Majora's Mask is better, and I would say that one for sure.
I think A Link to the Past is the best Zelda game.
So Zach asked, are we talking games that... Oh my God, Logan. He asked, are we talking about games that came out Nintendo 64 older, or what's the cutoff? There is no cutoff. If a game...
Older games to test.
If you think a game that came out way back in the day would hold up now and are still a good game to this day, like without the rose-colored glasses, what ones would it be? Because I could pull right here.
All the Pokemon games, in my opinion.
Is that Angry O or Surprised O, Zach?
Pokemon Gold right here.
I would actually argue Gen 1 and 2, original Gen 1 and 2 don't hold up.
I would say this does.
I challenge you to go back and play Red or Yellow or Gold.
I have.
I
love them.
I think if you're gonna play Gen 1 or 2, I think you should play the remakes. That's what.
Well, Soul Silver is the perfect Pokemon game in my opinion.
Yeah,
but that being said,
obviously for
same thing.
Obviously
Same
for
thing,
Pokemon
Daniel.
fans,
Crystal was awesome.
It doesn't matter.
Crystal was really good.
For Pokemon fans, it doesn't matter. Like, I still go back and play Crystal on my 3DS a lot, but I think if we're looking at bringing newcomers in and like just be more accessible, I think the remakes are way better.
What stands the test of time for those?
I think a lot of the mechanical errors
for Pokemon games in general, like
So I think those games would, right? Really. No, but I think with Gen 1, especially Gen 1, Gen 2 fixed a lot of things, but it still had its bugs. Like, there's just so many, early gaming things that are in the game and, like, working out the kinks. Like, there's a lot of issues with Red, Blue, and Yellow. Like, just graphically, mechanically, like, there was, the infamous bide where it was, like, a busted move and, like, you just get locked in it and just get knocked out in one turn or whatever. The whole thing of like Ghost being broken and like not working right, and like how Ghost is supposed to be super effective against Psychic, but then in the coding for the original games it's not. And just there's plenty of things like that like just don't hold up. And
but that doesn't make the games bad though.
No. But like if we're looking at like that stand the test of time and like any newcomer could come in and enjoy it, I would really just encourage the remakes over, Fire Red and Leaf Green are way, way better than Red Blue.
Sure.
Like I just think,
well, yeah, but that's because they are remakes though, and so they had an opportunity to go back and fix those things. That's not what we're talking about. Like if Banjo-Kazooie never got remade, so for me, that works. Donkey Kong 64 has not been remade, so that works.
No, but like.
So obviously, if there was a remake of Banjo-Kazooie, then I would recommend that.
See, no, I would still.
But the original still holds up.
I would still say, play the original. Like in those cases, because there's nothing functionally wrong with Banjo-Kazooie.
That's because
it's a very mechanically sound game.
You have to play the original because there's no remake.
I think if
it
stands the test of time, it means even with all of its flaws and messed up parts, it's so freaking good that it doesn't matter.
Like Pokemon Gold, I would say is a great game.
I wouldn't. This is just my personal opinion. When I think of that stuff, I don't think of Pokemon games because I think there's so many other games that fit that description more than a Pokemon game.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
like I said, like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Like terrible graphics, awful.
Yep.
But one of the best stories ever.
Yeah, and like that's a testament to that is like I literally that's how I got into Final Fantasy, and I played that like 2 years ago, and I played the original Final Fantasy VII, and I was taken away by it. Like it was amazing. It's up there for one of my favorite games now. So that does, go past the test of time there, in that sense because it's even in 2019 I played it. 2020.
So still worth playing. Like
it is.
If you've never played that game, if you're into story-driven content, JRPGs or whatever, like go back. It's so worth it still.
Yeah.
Just because it was older and the mechanics were a little bit different and the graphics were horrible and terrible, doesn't mean the story is not as epic as it was back then.
That's the nice thing about story-based games too. Is the story is never going to change. So even though game mechanics and graphics might,
sure,
if it's a great story, it's still going to hold up years later.
It doesn't matter.
Great stories are always going to hold up.
Yeah. Like, what about SNES: A Link to the Past?
Oh, that's another one.
Personally, I think that is the best Zelda game ever made.
That's a very good one.
I still need to play more Zelda games because
you do.
Link's Awakening and Breath of the Wild are the only two I've played.
You do. You got
A Link to the Past stands the test of time for sure for me. Like it wasn't crazy, but graphics wise or anything like that. But it was also top down.
Honestly, I feel like it's hard to find
kind of stuff on SNES, right? But it's still good.
I have a hard time thinking anything on SNES doesn't stand the test of time. That console is just
you can't say it's bad, Zach.
So amazing that like every game that I can think of for that console just immediately, in my opinion, are classics and stand the test of time. You got Super Mario World, Kirby Superstar, Link to the Past, F-Zero started on that.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Super Mario Brothers. No, well that's NES.
No, that's SNES.
No, it's NES.
No, they had All Stars, which is all three of those on
but like
SNES.
It's an originally an NES game.
Really?
And just
can't do SNES games, huh? That's interesting.
It's just, in my opinion,
some great ones.
Of course, Earthbound is my favorite game. Like that game's I think in my opinion, all the SNES games stand the test of time.
Keep talking.
Or at least the main ones. Obviously, there's a bunch of crap on it. Like you have what Mario is missing.
Really?
Is not great, but
that's crazy, Zach.
That is.
But I mean, if you can't do SNES games for whatever reason, I understand, I guess.
Yeah.
But personally, I think it's the best one out there.
My favorite Zelda game still is Wind Waker. I think that one is just
Wind Waker, or
Wind
I
Waker.
thought Link's Awakening was your favorite.
Well, Link's Awakening is definitely tied. I go back and forth, honestly.
Really?
Link's Awakening and Wind Waker are up there, like kind of fighting, all the time for it. But
okay, so I couldn't find. I thought I had Super Mario Bros. 3, but those are.
I didn't know you had these actually.
Yeah, that's what I got there. I still haven't played
the gold cartridge.
Yeah.
Nice.
Zelda 2 and Zelda 1. I actually want to get these just for display because I don't have an NES, but.
If you get graded versions of the gold cartridges of those, like sealed, they're worth so much freaking money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're worth a lot, but I don't have them, sadly. That's what I got.
This game, I will say the original Zelda doesn't stand the test of time.
The original Zelda's not like
it's not,
See, I don't know where my other Mario game's at. I don't know where they. Because I have, Super Mario Bros., but I know I have Super Mario Bros. 2 or 3 somewhere for the NES.
Can you play NES, Zach, and not SNES? Is there a difference? Or do you just want the cartridges?
But yeah, no, that's sick.
Oh, I forget how much I spent on these. $30 and $20. I spent $50 on both, which that's not too bad.
No, I'd pay that.
That's probably worth it.
Like, I don't have an NES, but I would get those just for, like, shelf pieces because they're so sick. But and I honestly do want to get NES at some point.
They're so shiny.
A collection.
Yeah, Super Mario All-Stars on SNES was
that's
freaking awesome.
That's great.
The 3-in-1.
Gosh, there's probably a ton of just like JRPGs in general. Like had such love on SNES because that was before Square Enix joined. Mm-hmm. Like it was SquareSoft and Enix. And so you have like Mario RPG 2 is another great one. Final Fantasy 6, right? Or 6.
4. What?
It's 2. It was in the Nintendo, but Super Mario Bros. 2 was the other one.
Gotcha. Is it 6? It's.
I think it's a personal issue that you need to work through, Zach. If you can play NES and not SNES.
That's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, isn't it Final Fantasy 6 is on the that's the one with the female protagonist?
Terra.
Yeah. So that's up there for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. A lot of people love that one. I think that's probably the best one.
Secret of Mana, like
it's the best
so many great JRPGs come from that. It's just I think most SNES games are just stand the test of time in general.
I can't help you, Zach, man.
Yeah, I never had an SNES.
I didn't either.
It so much.
I went from the NES to the Nintendo 64, and we never had the Super Nintendo. Because I was just at that age, where that was my dad's, the NES. But, I mean, being born in 94, I was just at that age where it wouldn't make sense for me to play games on the Super Nintendo. Like, my cousins that were just a couple years older than me, they had it. But we just got the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I mean, I played my Super Nintendo.
I wish I grew up on that.
1999, man.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
Yeah, I really wish I grew up on
I had Atari, skipped NES, and went to Super Nintendo.
Interesting.
That's quite the jump.
And then went to PlayStation after that, and then Xbox. And then we're back to PlayStation.
We had about the same, almost the same path then. Because I went Nintendo, like the NES, to 64, to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and then PS4.
Mm-hmm. I never got a PS2. I went directly to Xbox.
Wow. Mine is completely different.
Xbox One. But
I also had GameCube, but
you are younger than us too.
Yeah, you are significantly younger than us.
My first was Xbox 360.
And what a one to start on.
And then I got a Wii. And then
golden age of Xbox.
After that, I got into gaming, and I got a GameCube, and then I got what came after my GameCube? Oh, and then I bought a PS4. It was like my first console, like new console I bought on my own, and then Switch, and then I think that's about it for me. And then GameCube. Yeah, I said GameCube. I bought that later on, and I'm getting a collection for that. But yeah. I definitely wish I would have grew up in the SNES, NES era, because that would have been a time, to start gaming.
Dude, the games back then were so good. I mean, I can't even say that they all hold up, because a lot of them don't. Let's be real. They're iconic.
If you're thinking of a game era, like NES, SNES is iconicism. I think that's exactly what it was. That's really the start of gaming.
But see, there's a difference though between being iconic and holding up today.
Yeah, sure, but a lot of them still do.
Because I would say,
old school Zelda and Mario games, you can play those all day long.
Yeah, so I'm saying SNES in general, majority of the library
there was a lot because they had the fake third-party games coming out at that same time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of garbage out there too. But there was so
the mainstream and the good stuff, that's all
big company games. AAA at that time, I guess.
Yeah.
They work, and that's what your iconic stuff. That's your Mario. That's your Zelda. That's your. Gosh, what are the other ones?
Chicken and Mana.
Yeah, I mean,
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy was Fire Emblem a thing back then? I don't remember.
It was, but it wasn't in English. They didn't come out in English until GameCube, I think.
Yeah, that was.
And
those games are still raved about today. They're still played all the time for fun. They speed runs all the time. They become memes.
Yep.
Like, they're still huge.
What was the... I forget who it was. There was a Twitch streamer that was playing Super Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to do the glitch to get through the third Bowser door, like, that would take you to the room that had the big clock tower. Like, you go up the stairs on the second level. You know, he was trying to do that glitch where you just, like, phase through it. And it's one of my favorite Twitch clips because of how embarrassed he was. But he was trying so hard. He's like, this isn't working at all. He hands the controller to this chick sitting next to him. She does it first try and just looks at him like, are you stupid? Like, how did you not get this? And the look on his face, man, he was like, are you kidding me? Like, she got it first try. He was struggling. He's like getting mad. He's like, this isn't working. This is stupid. She's like, here. So gives it to her first try. She gets it immediately. And she even makes fun. She's like, why are your controls like this? Because they were playing an emulator on the PC. So she's using an Xbox controller. And she's like, this isn't even like the original controls. Like, why are you using controls like this? It just takes the controller in first try.
That's funny.
Made me laugh.
Interesting.
Yeah, other things that I'm trying to think of. Most GameCube games, in my opinion, stand up pretty well. Like I said earlier, Wind Waker is is probably my favorite Zelda games. It's tied, in my opinion, with Link's Awakening, and that one is great. Sunshine is amazing for Mario.
I still need to play that.
That one's cool.
That one's really good. What else we got? Luigi's Mansion is great. I think that one still holds up pretty well. The original.
The original, okay.
Yeah.
Which was on
GameCube.
GameCube, gotcha.
It was like the GameCube launch title.
Okay.
Yep, it was the first. I think wasn't it the first Nintendo console that didn't launch with a Mario game, but instead it was Luigi.
I have
think
no
so.
idea.
I think that's
I
right.
don't know.
Zach might
Zach
correct
will
me on
know.
that. I think that's right.
That could be right.
But yeah, so it was that was a launch title for it. Yeah, other than that, not much else I can think of.
So that's your guys' list of what holds up.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
plenty
'cause,
more. I think it's really easy for story-based games that have like stellar story. You know, multiplayer games
It's
are
really
tougher.
hard,
I think.
yeah.
I think the Halo series
Yeah.
stands. I could go and get a few Xboxes together and link them up and play Halo 1 System Link, and it'd be still freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I'd agree.
Halo 2, Halo 3, all of it, same.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
And the stories are still great.
I
Campaign's
feel the
wonderful.
same way with like some Call of Duties, but like the support for them is
Modern
Support is
Warfare
gone.
and Modern Warfare 2, the story
yeah,
definitely.
Modern Warfare
play
2. Like
those.
if you could just not change anything about Modern Warfare 2, but like bring the online back and not have like just be a bunch of hackers. Like you just be actually good online to how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
And put a new like kid on that system, they'd love that game.
Oh yeah, I would
That
say
one's
Modern
nice.
Warfare 2 is the best Call of Duty multiplayer.
I would
was
agree
ever,
with that.
Ever
I would
was.
honestly, I
agree.
prefer 3.
I never
think
played 3.
was freaking amazing.
See, and I never played
It
Modern
was
Warfare 3.
it was 2 just with the better life, differences. Maybe Time to Kill was a little bit different. Some of the stuff that was really cheap, like infinite claymores and noob tubes, that didn't really happen. Which I love that in MW2 because I just wreck people with claymores all day long.
I love quick scoping. That was my favorite thing on MW2.
You are a loser.
I'd go around and
Go
just
home.
I would just
You use the intervention?
what's that?
Intervention
Yeah.
sniper.
I mean, it was the best sniper. But
Yeah.
And then we'd do like quick scope matches on Rust back in the day. Oh,
360
level.
no scope.
That really,
yes.
what set those games apart was they actually had freaking amazing level design.
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember a recent Call of Duty game that had good level design.
Well, there's a reason why they keep bringing back all the old maps.
I know, it's so
Well, it's all
freaking
like
cheap.
It's all like this 3-lane
And they-
system now.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been a 3-lane
But
system,
it's
and that
been-
makes for good competitive play.
Yeah, but like it's been I don't know. I feel like it's been handled better in the past. Like it wasn't as
It was
obviously
handled way better in the
it's
past.
not as been as obviously 3 ways, right? Like
I thought it was. I thought it was more
Really?
simplistic, to be honest.
I guess I never really thought much about the older maps. Like
I don't know. It's just they try to do so much more by doing less. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just I don't know. They're not aesthetically pleasing. They're boring. They make for stupid gunfights a lot of times. They've added different mechanics that don't hold up.
Well, also a lot of it now they're focusing more on Warzone
and crap,
and they're focusing more on the battle royale aspect.
Activision
of it.
and all of Call of Studios don't give a crap about care for their game anymore.
No,
they
don't.
No, they don't.
Which we've talked about that in the past. That's a whole other can of worms. So
yeah.
And man, I love MW3. Well, MW2 was my jam as well, but MW3 was really good.
Yeah, it's like we kind of said, it's hard to do those multiplayer games, but like if there's a way to like kind of revive the the online of it to like how it was originally.
You don't even need just the multiplayer. Like I went back the other night and I was playing the MW2 story because it's remastered on PlayStation 4, and I genuinely adore that game. Like even now, like the story holds up so well.
I mean I always loved the campaigns of Call of Duty, but I always thought they were the like they were a side mode. I always have been on Call of Duty like it's a multiplayer focused game.
Yeah,
and I mean it is because it's they've taken out the campaign for the past how many now. But I don't know. I've always liked them, but it's...
Sorry, I was talking to Zach. But it's generally geared to for competitive play.
Yeah.
Which a lot of multiplayer games, it's a heavily, emphasized thing. Ranked play or competitive, even with esports and stuff. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else. So
that's a vague term. 3-lane is a vague term. It's more than 3 stuff. It's just 3 giant basic lanes to add for competitive game modes. But.
Yeah, so we need to come up with a 4th topic.